Now, it's always nice to find out about a new sport, especially at 3:09 on a dreary afternoon. Well, what do you do on dreary afternoons? Well, I'll tell you, I've played all sorts of sports in my life, but the one thing I have never been able to play is chess. I think it's because basically I'm thick, and I never was very good at that card game that's like chess. Bridge, never very good at it at all. However, that's always face-to-face where you've got the man, and there's a current sort of Karpov thing going off with all the aggravation of an international soccer match. But there's another variation of chess you can play, and that's correspondence chess. That's it, you do it all by letter. Well, I think you do anyway. So to find out all about that, I've actually got with me here in the studio Liam Lynn, who's the Northern Ireland Correspondence Champion, Chess Champion. It's hard to say that. Northern Ireland Correspondence Chess Champion for 1990. Welcome, Liam. That was Correspondence chess. I've tried to do the thing where you sit there, where you are, and I sit here, and we have the ball between, and we push them about. How do you do it? By mail?
The rules are the same in every respect. It's just that playing by mail, the time allotted for analysis is much more lenient.
Depending on the post office. Yeah.
Well, no. On the rules of the tournaments, normally we are allowed one move, 48 hours. But if we reply earlier, obviously we can build up a bank of time in the favour of the player who plays the fastest.
Oh, so when he gets in the serious mood at the end, you have a bit longer time?
Exactly.
Well, how is this checked? Is this checked by a postmark then, to make sure it's within the 48 hours?
The postmark will always be there to settle disputes, but the players, it's a gentleman's game, and the time of posting doesn't very often enter into disputes.
Yeah, nobody checks. You're the Northern Ireland Correspondent Chess Champion. Do you only work this in Northern Ireland, or is it an international thing?
No. It's played worldwide. In fact, that's one of the strong points of Correspondence, in that I can play from my own home, a person in Holland, Denmark, Wales. At international level, it brings players, it excludes all the hassle of travelling, and it brings players from other countries together from the comfort of their own home, really.
So what actually happens? We start off. I mean, do you say a guy in France, dear Pierre, rook to Q4, and just put that sort of symbol on it, and that's the way it goes?
That's true. There's an international chess notation. English-speaking people can understand it's universal. If it is an English-speaking country, all the better. You can strike up friends with people in other countries. In fact, I've made many friends worldwide playing Correspondence. But it is basically, like you say, the card addressed to your opponent with your move. You repeat his last move and include your next one, and it's just simply a matter of including the date of receipt and sending.
Could you have more? I suppose you could actually play more than one at any one time then. You could have several going.
Last year, at the height of the championships, I played in several. I had 35 games going simultaneously. So you can imagine.
Hang about. Do you at home there in Logan have 35 boards with Pierre and Marcos and Jeffrey and all those?
No, the house wouldn't be big enough to hold that. I have about 6 boards, and whenever I satisfy myself with one game and get it sent, I then set up my next opponent's game, and work it from there. I send the moves off as they arrive. They don't all arrive, fortunately, at the same time. On average, maybe 6 to 10 each day.
Yeah. No, but it's just a straight game, isn't it? There are no variations in the game. It's strictly, game for game, isn't it?
It's the same rules as orthodox chess. The only difference being that in the openings, players are permitted to consult books. This is partly because they cannot be monitored at their home, obviously, to debar them from consulting books. So that is permitted, and they're also allowed, of course, to touch the pieces and move them about on their board, which they wouldn't be allowed to do if it was over-the-board chess.
No, I'm not actually criticising our post office or other nations' post offices, but there surely must be occasions when a card or a letter goes astray, and there's a bit of a problem there.
There can be, but the post office is very, very efficient, as you probably know. It's only happened to me about 3 times in the last 2 years, and that's from cards arriving from all over the world. And in any of the cases where that has happened, it has been because someone has they haven't addressed a card properly, or it's usually the player who is at fault rather than the post office.
I'm just thinking wildly. I can think of variations of this. Now fax is now in. You can have fax chess, couldn't you? Much speedier than that.
That's coming into it, but it'll be more expensive for the players to indulge in that everyone will have to obviously have a fax machine or a printout of some sort to give and receive moves.
Yeah.
The postcard system at the moment, it keeps everyone happy.
Yeah. Tell me, in chess, is there ever occasion, and I know I was reading this week, is it Karpov and the other guy, Kasparov, and that some guy, they hate each other or something, don't they?
Well, there's no love lost.
That's it. But are there ever occasions, that's the very top level stuff, are there ever occasions in a game where you need a referee or an umpire or something like that? Or is it always just me and you with no adjudication?
Oh, no. There's a controller, of course, and any disputes are referred to him if a dispute should arise. For instance, a clerical error, someone in time control, or some breach of the game, someone out of time control, even more to the point.
Because you can't really cheat at chess, can you?
No.
Apart from
impossible.
sort of palming a thing, there's no way you can cheat in a game.
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think that's one of the joys of the game, I suppose, isn't it? Probably that's why I'm no good at it, you know. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. People think, Crooksy goes around cheating at everything, you know. The other thing, I was talking to a young fella here the other day, the other champion I had in here, who was the Northern Ireland Subbuteo champion, a smashing wee fella, who tomorrow is trying to defend his Northern Ireland championship. But I was staggered to find that in Subbuteo, which is the board football game, there are now people turning professional Subbuteo players, and there's a potential for them to make money out of the game. Is it possible at any sort of level to make money out of playing chess?
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, at the top level you mentioned earlier, that's Kasparov and Karpov. They're playing for millions, absolute millions. It's one of the richest sports in the world now.
Is this just sponsorship then? I mean,
prize money set up by the chess governing body itself.
Because you don't get thousands of people coming into an arena and paying, 50 or 60 quid.
Well, you do. I mean, tickets are unavailable for any of the top matches. You'll have as much trouble getting tickets now for a top chess match as you would for, say, Wimbledon or any other major sporting event.
But how do you see it? I mean, surely there's a board that's only about 2 foot square. How on earth can you see that then?
Well, watching snooker from a distance, it's something similar in that people at the back of the arena, they haven't got a bird's eye view, but they're in the presence of the great players.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
There are screens monitoring the moves all around.
Oh, so there is a display showing you what's happening?
Of course, there are PR people, usually grandmasters, telling why each move was made, what the principle or idea or motivation behind it was. The audience is kept very, very well informed.
Now, you are our Northern Ireland Correspondence chess champion. Do you actually play... It's a stupid thing to say. You obviously play it other than at correspondence level. But are you a sort of chess champion at the proper face-to-face over the board?
No, I don't play over the board chess much at all. When I started to play correspondence, it was more of a means of convenience to me at the time. My working hours and things didn't permit me to have the time off for over the board. But I have found that with correspondence now, I would play it as a choice anyway, because it's a far deeper and more sincere form of chess than over the board. Over the board, you're permitted on an average of 3 minutes to make one move, and on deep analysis after a match, you find that the games are littered and riddled with mistakes, even at World Championship level. Whereas at correspondence chess, because up to 2 days is taken in deep analysis for one move, it's really the deepest and purest form of the game. And in all the textbooks now, correspondence chess has been more and more referred to in lines of analysis in respect of openings and defences, because it's recognised that the system the correspondence players adopt is researched so thoroughly that it's...
By the time you make your move, you've considered every option.
Absolutely every. Hundreds of moves and variations.
So a game really could take anything from a week up to many weeks, I suppose, depending on
a game takes on average from 9 months to a year. Given that a lot of that time is taken by post the move in transit, but still on average 2 days. It's very, to compare it to athletics, over the board chess would be almost like a sprint, whereas we see ourselves as the marathon runners. Exactly, and because you're good at one doesn't necessarily mean you'll be good at the other. You could take a top over-the-board player and put him in with correspondence players. I've seen this happen. Some of the scalps I've taken in the last year or so, notable over-the-board players.
Yeah.
But I'd say over-the-board, they would probably do me in a like fashion. They're two different types, really.
So if anybody's interested in chess and they don't know about this, I presume there's some sort of club. How on earth do they start in correspondence chess?
If they know the rules of chess at all, they can play.
Is there a sort of central organising body then?
Well, in Northern Ireland, our controller, for anyone who wants any more information, they can telephone me on Craigavon 343 848.
343 848.
Or send to Colin McGuigan.
Yes, I'm writing this down as well, so I know.
Right.
Colin McGuigan.
70 East Street, Newtonards.
East Street, Newtonards. That's it. That's count down. Right. And what's Colin? Is he a chairman or a secretary or something?
Colin's our game controller. Correspondence Chess Northern Ireland is really his brainchild. He was the founder member of our association and organiser of the championships to date.
Well, there you are. I've learned something new. Didn't even know there was such thing as correspondence chess. It's an absolute delight to welcome in the second Northern Ireland champion I've had on this programme this week. Fascinating. Well, and how many games have we got running at the moment out of sheer interest, Liam?
Mercifully, we're between seasons now.
Well, they don't tell us there's a season as well.
Well, when one championship ends, there's a lull of about 3 months before the new season kicks off. So I've got about 4 or 5 remaining internationals that are in the end game stage, so they should be over fairly soon. I might even get a rest for a month this year.
I think a break will do you. Liam Lynn, Northern Ireland correspondence chess champion. Thanks for coming in to see us.
Thank you, Bob.